Now, of all these items that we just saw, the percentage number of ASINs or number of listings that any seller has is shown in this particular pie chart. So the red shows here that majority, almost 82% of sellers, they have less than 100 items listed in either of those 10 categories that we are looking at. And the majority items that are listed is by Cloudtail India seller. And then we have these two sellers that add to 1 and 3%. Rest of the sellers have very uh, the list of the sellers have less than 100 items. So only these sellers have more than 100 items listed within those first 30 to 40 pages of Amazon listing for either of those 10 categories. Now, if we look at what the segmentation for these sellers looks like, the one in red, these are the sellers that have less than 100 items in the listing in the first 30 to 40 pages of those 10 categories. So this is what it looks like. Uh, so this 100 plus is just for this one. It's a very small fraction that we can see here. But here now we can see that 42% of the sellers have just one listing, one item listed for sale. There are and 35% have 2 to 5 items listed for sale. And so if we add these all up, we have around 77% of the sellers that have less than 5 items listed in for sale in those first 30 to 40 pages for each of those 10 categories of toys when we sort by featured. So if you're thinking of selling toys as a new seller, uh, this gives kind of a pretty good idea as to how many products you would need to sell and what the competition could look like. So yeah, it looks like if I were to sell anything uh, based on this, I'll have probably less than 5 items. So maybe new sellers have less than 5 items, unless if they are uh, big sellers, then they may have more than 5. But vast majority seems to be selling less than 5 items. Again, this is 5 items that are listed in the first 40 pages. These sellers may have more items, but those may be after 40 pages. So though this does not account for that. So that's just to keep in mind.